Maryland Republicans are introducing 3 bills in the upcoming legislative session in Annapolis that would establish additional oversight of taxpayer-funded nonprofits.
The Spotlight on Maryland's Patrick Huff has the latest.
Maryland's really an outlier, and look, we're being taken advantage of.
And you have a higher standard if you're taking public money.
Republican delegates Matt Morgan of St. Mary's County and Kathy Szeliga of Baltimore County pre-filed 3 bills this month for the upcoming legislative session that they say will help address the issue of transparency from taxpayer-funded nonprofits. The bills would disqualify nonprofits from receiving state money if they're behind on tax filings, require nonprofits to report to the state comptroller if at least half of their revenue is from the state, county, or municipal government funding, and apply the Maryland Public Information Act to nonprofits that receive at least $50,000 from state or local governments.
This is just common sense.
Szeliga said the bills are necessary to buck a concerning trend in the state of launching government programs through nonprofits with little to no oversight.
We have a lot of nonprofits getting state taxpayer dollars that are not compliant. They haven't paid their taxes. They haven't filed their taxes, their charter's not up to date, and they haven't filed their 990. So just basic accountability is in order because we know it's happening.
Spotlight on Maryland reported this year on how the Maryland state government awarded $6 million taxpayer dollars to the We Are Us nonprofit, which failed to file its tax form by the IRS deadline this year.
I pulled some records at the courthouse.
We also found that the organization's president, Antoine Burton, owes more than $200,000 in combined personal taxes to the state and federal government.
Can taxpayers trust an organization with its money that's run by someone who doesn't pay their taxes?
Well, I do pay my taxes, and right now that's something that's being disputed.
Szeliga said the story was a concern for her and her colleagues at the State House.
We Are Us is a poster child for why we need this legislation.
A 2021 study from Maryland nonprofits found that the majority of funding for nonprofits in Maryland comes from taxpayer dollars. And a 2021 report from the Maryland Office of Legislative Audits found that, quote, there was no control agency with the authority to promulgate statewide grant-related regulations, policies, and procedures. Morgan said this trend reveals a need for more oversight of how state tax money is spent.
You know, nonprofits are supposed to get their money from the private sector. They're becoming extensions of government. So if they're going to be extensions of government, meaning that the majority of their funding comes from government sources, well, then they should have the same laws that apply as far as transparencies to that government has to comply with.
The Baltimore Sun reported in July on how Maryland officials say they were unable to provide information on how much money in total they send to nonprofits. Spotlight on Maryland reached out to Maryland Governor Wes Moore, Senate President Bill Ferguson, and newly elected House Leader Jocelyn Pena-Melnick with the following questions. Do you support the nonprofit transparency measures in the proposed bills from Republicans? Do you believe Maryland should have stronger oversight of how nonprofits spend taxpayer money? None of the leaders responded to our questions. Morgan said now is the time for Maryland lawmakers to take action.
We're $1.4 billion in the hole this year going into session. And this is after only 8 months ago raising $2 billion of taxes. So yeah, the General Assembly needs to take control of where they're spending money. Every private business would do this. Every family would do this, and government should be held to the same standard.
Stay tuned in the coming months as we hold lawmakers accountable in the new legislative session on whether there's proper oversight about how nonprofits spend your taxpayer dollars. For Spotlight on Maryland, I'm Patrick Huff.
Hi, I'm Vincent Hill. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Follow Fox Baltimore on social media for more videos just like this.